Morning, everybody. As we go to the Chitas of today, we're holding on the portion of Nitzavim. We're holding on chapter 29 in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 29, verse number 15. Yatim yedatem asher shavnu be'eretz Mitzrayim, because you know how we dealt in the land of Egypt. We lived in the land of Egypt. As hashavanu b'kerav hagoyim, and as we passed through the territories of the nations. Asher avartem, which you went through. Rashi says, since you have observed the idolatrous nations, and therefore one of you may be drawn to follow them, because you oops, what happened over here? Sorry, it happened. You follow them. Perhaps there is amongst you, and I need to make sure to draw you with an oath. You could see him. You saw the loathsomenesses and their repugnant idols, eitz ve'ever, made out of stone and wood. Kasev zav ashemar, most of the gold and the silver that was with this wood, with this idol. Rashi says, "Al shem shemosim kishkotzim," because they are. Why is it called kishutzehem? Because they are disgusting like a loathsome creature. Gilulihem, that they're foul and repulsive. Eitz ve'evan. Those made out of wood or stone, you have seen openly, since the people are afraid that they will be stolen. So in the outside, they make it out of wood. But the silver and gold ones are with them, because they conceal in chambers since they're afraid that they might be stolen. Yesh lachem ben ish or might be a man or a woman, a mishpacha, or a family, or a shevet, or a whole tribe. Which is hard, strays today. From God our God, to go and worship other gods. May there be amongst you a root that produces poison, hemlock, and wormwood, bitter wormwood. Perhaps amongst you, who's hard to strain today from accepting the covenant upon yourself. Shadish Peda Reishalana, a root that produces bitter herb, such as Gideon, wormwood, which is bitter. In other words, he nurtures and breeds wickedness in your midst. And when he hears the words of this oath, his body will say in his heart, Shalom Yeli, it'll be good for me. I'll go with the illusions of my heart. God will add the punishment to his drunken, unintentional sins, to the punishment of his thirsty, his intentional sins. Rashi translated the nature blessing, meaning he'll imagine himself to still be blessed with peace, saying the curses will not affect me, but I will enjoy peace. Hizbarech, Rashi says, comes from the word, means it follows my heart. Hizbarech comes to consider himself blessed. Like if he's galach, he must shame himself. Spalel. I will follow my heart sees, similar to what it says, I behold Ashreno, but it's not soon. Meaning what my heart sees fit to do. Masveis harava, so that I will add the drunk sin, meaning because I will add punishment for what he previously committed unintentionally, which I had overlooked until now. Now he causes me to add them to the intentional sins and to punish him for everything. Uncle is translated as I will add the unintentional to the intentional. So that's what Rashi explains it like the uncle is harave is shoygeg, unintentional, which a person does out of drunkenness, And Atzameya is one who does it thirsty, when he does it, he commits it intentionally out of desire. Verse 19, Leiv Hashem Sleach, the Eibishter will not forgive him. Because God's fury and zeal will fume against this man. And the entire curse is written in this book will come upon him. And God will erase his name from underneath the heaven. Now she says, through anger, the body heats up and smoke comes out of the nose. So we find Allah Asham Ba'ape, smoke coming out of one's nose. Although no such thing hard regarding God, the Torah describes it in a way that we are familiar, be able to understand in a natural manner. We cannot say what means a kina, a zeal. Zealousy is the innate fury. He takes an entire vengeance and does not pass over principle. Eibishter does what he needs to do, doesn't allow people to get away with it. Verse number 20, the Eibush will sing him out for evil. Call Shiftei Yisrael for the entire Jewish people. All like all the curses that are written by Sefer Torah in this Sefer Torah. Now she says, in addition to what God will bring upon every disease and plague that's not written in the Torah, the feminine term for Torah, a feminine noun, hazeh. A masculine term refers sefer, scroll, a masculine noun. But by the way of cantillation marks, they're differentiated in two distinctive phrases above. In the passage of the curses, the tipcha cantillation is under the sefer, and under the words hatei azais are connected to each other, and therefore it says azais feminine. But there, the tipcha is under the Torah, and thus the word sefer Torah, the connotation of each other, and therefore followed by the word the masculine, the word sefer. She says you see sometimes the Torah uses the masculine term and sometimes uses the feminine term. And then the later generations will say, that they will come after you. And the foreigner that's in a far left land. And they'll see all the destruction of that land. And all its disease, which God brought upon it. Verse 22, Gophers Vamela Sefer Kol said everything will sulfur and salt. They see the entire land will be burnt up, it will not be sown, nor will grow anything. But they says nothing will grow upon it. Like the story where God turned over Sodom and Gomorrah, Tzvayim, Adma, Ashahafach, Va'abape, Chamaseh, which God turned over these cities in his rage and anger. And all the nations will say, Ma asa Hashem kachal. It says, why did God do this to this land? What was the great furious rage? They will answer, they broke the covenant of God, like the God of their fathers. I said, which God cut with them, established with them. When he took them out of Mitzrayim. Verse 25, they went, and they went and they worshipped other gods. And they bowed down to these other gods. A God which they don't know, and not assigned to them. Now she said, means in which they never observes the divine powers. And he's not assigned to them, and God did not give them these deities into them as their portion. But Uncle is the Uncle is translated the difference. He says they did not provide them any benefits. That's the meaning of lechalak lehem. Phrase lechalak meaning that the deity that they chose did not apportion them any inheritance or portions. Yicharav Hashem ba'aretz, and the Eibishter brought about his wrath upon this land. To bring upon it all the curses, which is written in this book. Actually, verse 27. And God uprooted them from their land. With fury and wrath. The cats of God of fuming indignation. They chased them away to other lands. Just as they are this day. She says, as uncle is transferred shame, but Chaltalun, he banished them. Verse 28, on the status Lashem Alekenu, the hidden sins are for God, and the glories lanu, but the revealed ones are for us. Ulavanenu for our children, ad oilam forever. Last is called divra hatera zeis, to do all this Torah. The status Lashem Alekenu, God, Moshe Rabbeinu says that the hidden are for God. So the Rashi says, what can we do? You punish a community for sinful thoughts of an individual. As it says, perhaps there's coming you a man, and subsequently seeing the plagues of the land. So that's not fair. Somebody goes and sins, and everybody has to suffer. And surely no one knows the secrets of others. The answer is, I will not punish you for hidden sins, which are for God, your God, alone to know. And he will punish that individual. But the revealed sins are for us and for our children. You cannot let people just sin. You have to remove evil from amongst you. If you do not, then God will judge the whole community. The letter Lanu Levanenu has dots upon it. See the word over here, Lanu Levanenu. You'll see on top of it, there's dot in each word. You can see there's a dot on every word over there, every letter. On every letter, there's a dot. The dots upon them implying that they are to be expounded as indicate that even for revealed sins, he did not punish the community until they crossed the Jordan River and accepted the oath of Mount Gerizim. Thus become responsible for one another. But we are all responsible for Chavein Kol Yisrael. The Jewish people are all one entity, and one is responsible for that. You cannot say, I'm not doing any evil, and I have no problems. We are all interrelated. We're all responsible for one another. That completes the Chumash for today. We are holding in the 16th letter of the Alter Rebbe. The Alter Rebbe come now for the above. Mentioned above is all according to the letter of the law. In fact, however, even a case where such a reasoning does not fully apply, meaning even number one is called upon to share not luxuries, but on one's own sliced bread. Or even when the poor are not crying out for food and clothes, but for other essentials. Alter Rebbe said, Alter Rebbe was getting to the letter of charity, and Alter Rebbe said, even though we're all struggling over here in Russia, but we have essentials. Well, Jews in Israel don't even have bread, so you can't compare your struggles to their struggles. And then the question is, let's say they're not struggling so much. So therefore, the Alter Rebbe said, when it comes to charity, it was then Alter Rebbe's opinion, when it comes to charity, don't go to the letter of the law. It's not proper that many men insist on the letter of the law when it comes to charity. A person should impose hardships on his life when it comes to charity. You have to no pain, no gain. You have to give till it hurts, as they say. To go above and beyond, we should have said in the letter of the law. One should be more concerned. The Gemara says, if we're so careful when it comes to tzedakah, you're going to come not to give charity. That's what's going to ultimately be the action. Person is going to be so scrupulous when it comes to tzedakah. He says, I'm going to go, I have to make sure that I'm not giving the wrong person. I have to make sure I'm not giving to... Yeah, ultimately, all these things are going to bring about one thing. Start giving tzedakah. And the blessed, even in a situation in which one of you is your takes presence over, which belongs to others, you will exacting in this matter. and does not go beyond the letter of law, he will eventually be brought to this matter. He himself will ultimately need charity. Chas v'shalom, chas v'shalom. That's what the Gemara says. So ultimately, you're going to stop giving charity. What's going to happen? You're going to come to charity. After all of us need to have mercies of heaven at all times. We all need God's mercy, whether we have or we don't have. Which is, so therefore, we all need to have God's mercy. So the way to awaken God's mercy is, Chassidus, awaken to God's mercy is to awaken up our own mercy. All time. The way we do it is when we awaken our mercy every time and every moment. We don't give in. We don't suddenly become justice. That's mercy. Mercy overcomes justice. To arouse a compassion on those who need compassion. Whoever hardens his heart and suppresses compassion, whatever the reason might be. He only what he does, he creates the concept above that the Eibishter controls his mercy. Chas v'shalom, heaven forbid. And all of this, however, affects only by the future. The Rebbe, however, notes that the present is well causing one to give until the recipient is equal with you. There's, however, an aspect of tzedakah that also affects the past, causing one to give an even greater degree than he keeps for himself, since this is to secure the rectification and atonement of the past sins. And all, after all, furthermore, there's not a righteous person upon the earth who does good always and does not sin. And therefore, we all need to give tzedakah. But tzedakah machaperes to magina min haperonis. And we all know that tzedakah atones and protects against misfortunes and the like. Charity thus is actual cure for the body and soul. As written, skin for skin, and everything, and limb for limb, and that all that man has, he'll give for his soul, to save his life. So setting a limit to the amount that one distributes for charity is just as unthinkable as limiting the sum one spends in order to cure himself his life. And more so, how much more so, we all are believers, the sons of believers. The fact that charity ain't ela halva. The Gemara says that charity is a loan. Who are we loaning? We're loaning it to God. He has to really pay us back. As the Eibush says, not only going to pay you back and pay you 10 times. So it's a loan. Pashut a loan. You're not giving anything. You're actually going to gain from tzedakah. So who wouldn't want to go? This is the best investment. The Eibush to promise you 10 times back is the best investment that you can do. It's tzedakah, according to Torah. So therefore, you're basically giving a loan. And this, like HaKadosh Baruch Hu, this is a loan to God. As it's read, the pasuk says, who is gracious upon its fall lends unto God. And it will pray you good deeds, but kaflayim ba'ilm hazeh, twofold. But not in the world to come, but in this world. Because the performance of none of the commandments is rewarded in this world. The Eibush, the Gemara says that the schar of a mitzvah is not in this world. That's every mitzvah besides tzedakah. Tzedakah, the Eibush promises, God promises to pay you over here in this world. Why? Because this is a mitzvah that helps people. If you should be because it helps people. It is when it helps people, the Eibush pays you back for helping people. Why? Because the Eibush should help people. God is asking for a loan from you to help people. that I should help people for him, and he'll pay me back. So therefore, the Eibishter pays me back what I gave to that person. And I'm loaning to God. So God, famous stories that God is my guarantor. He should be your guarantor for every loan that you give to somebody. This Gedushim, say Perekame, has brought down Masechta Gedushim, first chapter. And also one should be concerned about punishment. When other people give and you're not giving. And you have to be careful with that. The mother says that shows us something. When other people are giving and you're not giving, you're excluding yourself from the givers. It would be in the case as a word, absent oneself when other members of the community were joining forces for the sake of charitable causes. Under the discussion, we're talking about the fundraising of Koil Chabad. Alter Rebbe's fundraising of Koil Chabad. You know, the mind was as it's known from the words of the rabbis of blessed memory, who teach that standing aside in such circumstances is an instance of absence which one cannot be counted. May life be pleasant for those who give heed. We should come and tell them good blessings. And everything that's good. May be God, act benevolence on God towards the good and the upright. As in their wish, and as the wish of the writer, me myself, I'm giving you my wishes of goodness. Because leiv nefesh, the one who seeks the welfare with all his heart. I was talking about himself, with all his heart and with all his soul. And that completes the Tanya for today. Today is the 23rd day of the month, which is chapter 108 to chapter 112. The Rebbe writes in Yom Yom, the day for the 23rd day of Elul, when Moshe, the son of the Alter Rebbe, was between 8 and 11 years old, he was studying the Gemara, alluding the virtues of the sages. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai say, the verse says, learn my midas. Moshe was in doubt what the meaning of the last word, my midas, since there is Rashi's interpretation. That means my midas means my teachings. And then there's a simple interpretation, which means my character traits, midah, midas shalom, the character traits of a human being. The Alter Rebbe's son was in doubt. What is the meaning? At that moment, the Alter Rebbe came in and said in a chant. That's what usually when he spoke Tibri Teda, he said it in a niggin, he said it in a song, and he said the following statement in a song. So the Teda given us all fine character traits. Even the punishments there are in truth the acts of kindness and goodness. So he said the Alter Rebbe, the two interpretations are one and interdependent. There cannot be fine character traits without Teda. And there cannot be Teda without fine character traits. So they go hand in hand. To be able to have fine character traits, you have to learn Teda. And to be able to learn Teda, you have to have fine character traits. Exactly the same incident happened to the Tzemach Tzedek. When he was also 8 years old, 11 years old, he got the same explanation. So the Alter Rebbe said it to his son, and he said it to his grandson, the same explanation, that they go hand in hand. You have to learn Teda to know what good character traits are, and you really cannot learn Teda if you don't have good character traits. And that is the Yom Yom for today. Wish you all a good day, a happy day, a healthy day. Mitchell, we'll see you. Mitchell, tomorrow, 8 o'clock, we'll continue to learn the Chitas of the day.